Thank you very much, and welcome back to this room for our annual Launchpad event. Today, we're going to have 6 different startups competing for your affection and the attention of the judges. Now, the way this is going to roll is we're going to have 3 judges right up here. I'm going to host an MC, and then we'll have 6 startups each come up one at a time and demo for 5 minutes. Now, after each one demos, the judges will chat with them for 3 to 4 minutes, find out a little bit more about their business model, about their product, and give them some feedback. After all 6 have gone on, we'll then do kind of an applause-meter poll of the audience and award the People's Choice. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome out our first judge. He's the newly appointed co-editor-in-chief of ReadWriteWeb, Marshall Kirkpatrick. And the VP of Marketing for Elance, Ellen Pack. And with Founders Fund, Brian Singerman. Now, our companies today are AskYourTargetMarket.com. We have EnglEasy, which was actually formed just 128 hours ago at Startup Weekend. Go EnglEasy. pearltrees, Rhomobile, Strings, and Stupeflix. And now I'd like to welcome out our first company, Ask Your Target Market, with Lev Mazin and Mike Courtney.
It's an honor to be here. Please.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Go.
When it comes to validating your business idea, you have a few ways to go. You can trust your gut and listen to no one, but you might really regret it. You can ask your mom. Get feedback from your friends. Monkey around with your Rolodex. Or call a professional market research agency and be prepared to spend a fortune. My name is Lev Mazin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of AskYourTargetMarket.com, and I have a good news for you. Serious market research is now available at silly prices. You start by defining your target market. Then you write your survey, send it to our consumer panel, and you're done. You get your results within a few hours. Once again, it's a self-service, on-demand market research platform with a built-in consumer panel that we all can afford. Your surveys are sent to the qualified members of our proprietary USA consumer panel. And members of this panel have already completed over 6 million surveys. Let me show you how it works. So you start by specifying the demographic parameters of the people who you want to survey. Let's say I'm a restaurant and I'm thinking about changing my menu. I can adjust the exact demographics of their age range, their income range, ethnicity, education, all other 9 demographic parameters right here. And as I'm doing that, you see that little meter on the left. It shows you the approximate time needed to deliver your survey and the price. When I'm satisfied with this demographic profile, I can proceed with writing my survey. And that's a fun part. It's very easy to draft questions and answers. It's a Twitter-like market research because we have limited characters. You can change the type of questions, upload images, set answers as open-ended answers, and even upload videos. It's very handy if you want to test your pitch or show your product, demonstrate, and get some feedback from the users. Here you can preview how the survey will be shown to the survey takers. They can view the video. All they need to do is to roll over and see the little illustration pop up. And they're done. It's nothing close to that boring concept of survey that we're all familiar with. Say you completed your survey, you have all your questions. All you need to do now is to pay with PayPal and launch your survey. At this point, your survey is sent to the pre-qualified members of our panel. From the dashboard, you always have access to the statistics. And statistics, this is why you came to Ask Your Target Market. You can do all crazy stuff with it. You can slice and dice information, change the chart options. You can go between pie charts to column charts, see the breakdown of the demographics, and even see the responses on the map. And drill down to each particular respondent, see their traits, see how they replied. Furthermore, you can export the data to CSV and Excel file format and then do whatever you want with it outside of our platform. Or you can invite your friends and colleagues by using this link or directly by their email addresses. You can print out a fancy report and bring it to your board, meeting of board, or to your next VC pitch. And you can embed the sleek blog widget to your web page or blog so the readers can click through the questions, and the width is adjustable, as you saw. So now when I showed you a little bit of the UI, I want to touch on the quality assurance measures that we do to make sure that we provide really good data. We caught the bots, we caught the cheaters, we caught the people with IP addresses outside of the states, and we have this tremendous intellectual system on top of it called Trust Score, which monitors the trustworthiness of each respondent in the panel. And it works like lie detector, and it's all described on the panel, on the site. We have a few patent-pending technologies, and market research in general is an 18 billion industry worldwide, and half of it happens in the States. Why so much? Historically, market research is an extremely expensive thing. Companies have a lot of legwork to do, sales departments, overhead. Well, guess what? We eliminate all of that. And that's how we bring this revolutionary price point to you. $29.95 for 50 responses. We leverage the social community. We leverage the technology, and that's what allowed us to give it to you. It's still under $100 for 400 responses. That's what we call silly prices for serious market research. Thank you very much.
Now, Marshall, I remember you being kind of a fan of Ask Your Target Market.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting. I'm most familiar with maybe the opposite of this, retroactive sentiment analysis of things talked about online. And there's a part of me that wonders about the authenticity of regular survey takers, but I love the fact that the price point is so low. I could give it a try and figure it out, get a feel for it myself. So I think it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. As a marketer, I'm so excited to use this. I think it's great. How do you pay your panelists? Like how do you ensure that you have a quality panel over and over again?
Right. Yeah. I'll ask Mike Courtney, our VP of Market Research, to answer this question.
Yeah. We don't actually pay the respondents, but they do have a chance to win a daily prize. So they're incented to go in and answer surveys, and the more surveys the more questions they answer when they log in, the more chances they have to win a prize. But since obviously only a few people win a prize per day, most of them are actually doing it because it's sort of fun. A lot of the surveys are humorous, they're entertaining, and there's also surveys from businesses that are asking to validate an idea that's really interesting. A lot of respondents love to see that, that glimpse into the future of, what that new product or service might be and give their opinion on it.
So I definitely congratulate you guys on having the slickest product in the space that I've seen. That being said, there are definitely other players in this space. I mean, obviously the Peanut Labs and of the world. How are you going about acquiring your panelists, and how do you get that to scale to huge numbers such that you can target whatever demographic you want, regardless of how niche that demographic is? And would this be better serviced using something like Facebook?
Well, we have a few solutions on our roadmap to acquire different segments. Like we're thinking about charity options and other ways to acquire different people, but Facebook itself would provide you with only certain demographic segment of the people, right? My mom wouldn't use Facebook. And that's why we advertise on Facebook, but we also have created this giant viral loop that gives us about 85% of new users are invited by existing users. And it spreads around rapidly and viral. People are inviting their friends, their family. It's just beautiful to see how it grows in all directions naturally.
All right. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you back out.
Thank you.
In about 40 minutes. Now, startups are really the lifeblood of web technologies. They're really kind of distributed R&D for the larger companies and help people realize what services they may need and anticipate a lot of the movements in the space. And so it's really been exciting to see the rise of community-built startups, community-built companies. And so we wanted to celebrate that and give an opportunity to those types of companies and projects. Startup Weekend just happened to be this past weekend here in San Francisco. And so we decided to invite the winners to come out here. Please welcome EnglEasy.
Good afternoon. My name is Ahmed Siddiqui. I'm joined with Dr. Baoshi Yang, and we would like to show you a product to teach children English through online games. And as you may have heard already, we just formed our company this past weekend. So I wanted to introduce my team, who's been just rock stars. All right, thanks. All right, so English is my second language, and my parents are immigrants, and so I had to learn English the old-style way, through paper, pencils, and books at school. And so what really, really frustrates me is that with all the technology that's available, why are kids still learning the same way that I learned almost 25 years ago? So what we did is we talked through this concept and we said, all right, let's see if we can put together some games that are fun for kids. And so what we did is we built out two applications. We built out one web-based application and one Android-based application. We're very, very excited to share that with you. Again, it's not as polished as probably the rest of them because, again, we just built it over the weekend. So hope you like it. So the first, let me step back, sorry. So before we get into that, I wanted to introduce you to Adam. So Adam is somebody just like me. Who's growing up here, trying to learn English, and he is surrounded by technology, so iPhone, iTouch, video games, etc. And so the thing is that, again, he's learning the same way, paper, pencil, and books, just like I did. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow his journey, and so we built this game just for him. So if you can show the first game. The first game that we built is called Word Pop, and it's a Tetris-like game where you match the... So you can see those little sound effects. So you match the word with the picture, and so it gives a little score and feedback. So this is one of our first games that we developed for the web. But what we found is that children nowadays that don't have access to the web may have access to a mobile phone. And so what we did is we built an Android app, and Dr. Yan, if I can borrow your iPhone, or your Android. So we built a flashcard-like game with voice recognition. So here's a picture of a dog, so let me just demo that for you. Dog. All right, I'm a smart kid. So this next picture, well, maybe I don't know what it is, so I can go ahead and click on it.
Cat.
So this way, kids can actually learn on the go. So we are, again, very excited about these two technologies, but what's really great about these technologies is that they're all interconnected. So what's great is that we are able to extract a lot of data from these games and present it to teachers and parents in a very, very simple manner. So this is Adam's scorecard. So as you can see, Adam's actually a very, very good student. He's been doing great with his animals, and he's also doing very good with his fruits. But as you can see, the very last column is something happened. And so the parents and the teachers can see what's going on here and make a decision based on that in real time. So they don't need to wait for tests at the end of the semester to get this data. They have it right at their fingertips. So again, this is the real power of the EnglEasy system. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, you can go ahead and show the data. And again, this can span into multiple different platforms as well. We hope to bring this into the living room through Xbox or through the Wii. Again, the idea is endless. So again, just to recap, I wanted to talk a little bit about Adam, who just wants to have fun, right? I mean, how many kids want to have fun, right? So he wants to have fun. He wants to learn English at the same time. And he also has a teacher who wants to make customized learning for Adam. And she is now able to do this. And then finally, we have Adam's dad, who is a very busy professional, but he wants the best for his child. So you're probably wondering, well, how do you make money off this? Well, there are 1.5 million children just like Adam who are trying to learn English in the elementary school system. And what we would like to do is we would like to offer this service for free to the teachers. And what we do is we actually will charge the parents a monthly subscription fee very similar to other online games like a Club Penguin. So this is where we have. Thanks again.
I mean, in these tightening times, education is really going to be, how we can scale out education cheaply is going to be a big deal. Do you have any thoughts on this, Brian?
I do. So that's basically my question. So I totally believe in games for teaching, and I'm a huge investor and believer in the game space. My question on games is always, how do you see you getting yourself the distribution? You say you're going to go through the teachers. You're going to go, door to door to the teachers and ask them, like, where do you see the distribution coming from?
So
Scalable.
The initial distribution channel, the easiest way to get in is through the private schools. But again, you have to go piece by piece. So if you get into the public school system, it's much wider, but it's very difficult to get into. And so what we'd like to do is to get into these private international type of schools first.
With relationships at those private schools?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, we would need to get relationships. So again, we just formed the company.
I totally understand. This is a brand new company. I just encourage you to really figure out the distribution strategy there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my questions were along the same line of, do you try to go direct to the parents or the consumer? Because if you're delivering on a mobile phone, et cetera, like it's not that compatible.
That's right.
With an independent school approach. And I'm not, I'm curious whether you could get them to buy into the graphical, progress reports or not.
So there are actually a number of devices that are coming out on the market that we can port our games over to. So we're very excited about that because there's a lot of technology that's available that's pretty cheap that we can get out to these schools too.
Yeah, that's neat.
I love the idea. I wonder what ages of children it will be most suitable to, and I also wonder whether game creation and the creation of a compelling game is easier said than done, and not just anybody can create an army of crop-watering zombies, as some people have. So whether you'll be able to create a comparably compelling experience like that seems like it would be the biggest challenge in my mind. I know the children that I spend time with have a short attention span for educational games.
Yeah, I know that. I've played a lot of video games, and there's been very few products on the market that really can keep my attention. So we want to make sure that we get the best and brightest minds to build these really, really great fun games. So,
all right. Well, thank you guys very much.
Thanks again. And again, if you're interested in changing the way kids learn, please join us. Thank you.
Next up, coming all the way here from France, is the social curation tool, pearltrees. Please welcome out Francois and Patrice.
Hi, I'm Patrice Lamothe. I'm the CEO of pearltrees. Today I'm very happy to introduce you to pearltrees. Pearltrees is about one single simple issue. Web users do not access the majority of the web content they really care about. They don't find what matters to them on the web easily. You, for example, do you find easily not all content, just the content that you already find sometimes somewhere on the web? How do you keep the content you like at hand? How do you organize them? Mostly, how do you share your discovery? How do you drive people through your web? Even better, there are a lot of people here that might share your interest. Here, there, there. Can you see their interest?
So
can you see
train it on
their
the
content?
more than the other, so that people can
How can you do that? Pearltrees is all about that, all about having the stuff you care about right under your hand. It's all about curation. It's curation for you, it's curation for others, it's enjoying other curation. So let's see how it looks like. Say you're browsing the web today on a random topic you care about. One click on Pearltrees bookmarklet or toolbar, or even on Twitter, and you can turn the content you found, the web page you find interesting, into a Pearl. Why a Pearl? Because you can manipulate a Pearl. You can move it as easily as you would do with a book on your shelf, or a dress you like, or whatever you like in real life. By turning the content you like into pearls, you can move them, you can organize them, you can put them in folder, subfolder, you can retrieve them very easily. That's your own personal library. That's the place where you put the stuff you care about and you play with them. But you're not alone in Pearltrees. Think about that. Think about all of you here having its own personal library, a public one. Pearltree will tell you which here are the same web page, which here are the interests you share. Pearltree will let you go into other libraries, pick the stuff you like, pick the small pearls, pick the content, pick the videos, pick the music, pick the whatever, and put it into your own words. More than that, it will let you pick parts of other world, the parts you care about, not the full flow of a Twitter feed or a Facebook status update. Just the very interesting music for this single person if you care about this music. This person will curate for you the web, will bring new stuff, amazing new stuff in your account right where you put it. It's a collaborative library of the web. It's the first social game of creating and organizing the web. It's a game where you can explore, discover a new topic, not from people to people, but from interest to interest. So what's more, if you've got your curation of the web, if you've got your world, wouldn't you like to drive people through your world, to guide them through the web? That's exactly what the new feature we're releasing today is doing. It lets you put a part of your Pearltrees account, a pieces of your web, into your own blog or your own website, so you can drive people through it. This is my blog. I embed the small Pearltrees in it. It's about a topic you may have heard about recently. There was a small controversy between Apple, Adobe. There was this post from Job, quite a famous one. I put that into my Pearltrees. Then I embed into my blog. But what it does, it lets me tell you a story in my blog with your web content. It lets me drive you through the web. That's very new. That's curation. The power of that is just the limit of your imagination. You can be the chief editor of the web. Inside your blog, you can drive people all over the places you know, all over the web, on your own website. And you can do that so easily, because every day you're going to put the content you like in your own Pearltree, you're going to discover new content. And just in 2 clicks, you're going to embed it and drive people through your world. In the last 10 years, you've created masses of web content. Now let's organize them. Now let's them give meaning to them. Let's curate the web together. Thank you.
It seems to me, Marshall, that your job is social curation. What are your thoughts on this?
It is. I love curation, and I want to congratulate you. It's pretty incredible that you have built a curation tool that looks like a mind map from outside of the United States, and it's one of the most buzzed about startups around in our scene these days, because all of those things are big challenges. I do curation to a great degree for a living, and that's my essential question about Pearltrees, is whether it's really, whether it's something that could possibly be popularized, or whether the overhead for curation is just unrealistic. I know in the semantic web space, for example, people have been hoping for years that all of the publishers online would self-organize and mark up their own content for organization of all the information, and other people have said, that's taking too long, we need top-down organization. And if this is a tool for bottom-up organization of the web's content, I wonder whether it will be as exciting to mass audiences as it is to someone who does this sort of thing for a living.
That's
well, of course, now Facebook has just launched Open Graph, so everyone's going to be marking up their pages. But
it's a real interesting discussion, and it's not how well that's going, how realistic that is, whether that's a desirable thing. Is 2 weeks in. It's very hard to say.
That's precisely what we are at. We are at making curation not only something easy, not something automatic. Pearltrees is not automatic. It lets you play with content. So the way we turn it around is precisely the reverse anyone has used it before. We won't organize it for yourself. We won't do Facebook categories. Facebook exists and it's great, by the way. We will let you play with the stuff you like. I mean, not anyone likes to organize its room, right? And it might be a job to organize your room. But to play with the stuff you like, to play with your books, if you like books, to play with your toys, if you like toys, to give a meaning to that, it's a very deep human need. It's exactly like the need of expressing yourself through blogging. You're a pro blogger, but many people just like to blog. That's a pleasure. Organizing, giving a meaning to stuff with Pearltrees, it's a pleasure. And we made it a game, hence a Pearl metaphor, hence a Pearl tree, and the social system where you pick other people's stuff and put it into your own. It's a great pleasure, it's a game, it's fun. And people using it now don't do it so much for professional reasons, even though some do. They do it because they're playing with their music, with their favorite artist, with everything. And so this pleasure is untapped so far. There is nothing on the web where you have fun organizing. Google organizes for you. Many semantic systems try to organize for you. They say, it's a pain. Don't do it, we will do it easily. We take it the other way around. It's a pleasure. Do it, you will love it.
Ellen, do you have any thoughts?
I was just going to say, intellectually, it sounds like a great idea, and aesthetically, I think it's beautiful. As a consumer, practically, I kind of go, do I have more time in my day to curate? It's great if curating is your job, but as a hobby or as an aside, I'm stuck with yet another channel that I'm supposed to keep updated along with the rest of what I do all day. So the retention question, how do you keep people?
Sorry. As we're chewing up the minutes, if you could keep your answer a little shorter.
So it's about not losing time, right? As a consumer, you lose so many time retrieving the stuff you already find on the web. If you put out all that time, that's a lot of time to play with Pearltrees and to refine what you have already found once.
Right. So to me, this seems like maybe a cool graphical interface on top of social bookmarking, which has obviously been around for quite some time. And for some, I kind of echo Ellen's sentiment. It's, from a consumer play, we've got so much stuff to keep up with. Is this, for most consumers, is it the graphical nature that beats other social bookmarking sites? And what's the long-term vision there for consumers? I get for people who this is their profession, but what's the long-term vision for consumers there?
There is the same difference between Pearltrees and bookmarking as between a Macintosh and MS-DOS in 1984. The fact that you take documents in your desktop and put them into folders, make it much more easily, much more fun, and much more powerful than to have to use lists and tags and retags. So it's not a graphical layer. It's the ability to take things as they were natural and to move them around. You've got simplicity, you've got power, and you've got a game.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, our next speakers are going in a place that Adobe's also been in, which is trying to develop a cross-platform mobile development framework. Please welcome out Rhomobile's Adam Blum.
thank you. So today I want to show you our cross-platform framework for building native smartphone apps for all devices. It's called Roads. It's open source. We actually just announced today that it was going to be fully free with the Web 2.0 conference. So some background, as you well know, smartphone apps are exploding. There's many different smartphone operating systems: iPhone, BlackBerry, Windows Mobile, Symbian, and even more are coming. Just a few years ago, people said, well, you know, I'm going to wait for it to converge down to one or two before I write apps. Well, that's clearly going the other direction. And so that, combined with the fact that people want to use native apps on their smartphones, thanks to the success of the App Store, means that you as developers need some way of handling that diversity. So this is why we created Roads. So we let you write your app once using your familiar web development skills. So even though you're writing in web, it is building a native smartphone application. So you're writing your interfaces in HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It's building a native application for the first 5 OSs that you see there: iPhone, BlackBerry, Windows Mobile, Symbian, and Android. We are working on WebOS, MeeGo, and then also Windows Phone 7, which will actually be a separate implementation from the existing Windows Mobile. So as we said, the skills that you'll use will be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to write the views for your apps. And then you will do the controllers in Ruby. We let you write everything as views if you wished. You could write all just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But those of you doing web development out there, it's likely that you're using some kind of MVC framework, either Python Django or Java Struts or Ruby on Rails. And whatever MVC framework you're using, we want you to take that modern web development goodness, but take it down to smartphones. Typically, mobility has been a bit of a backwater using older techniques. We also want to let you use synchronized offline data and use all the interesting capabilities of the device: GPS, PIM data, camera, push SMS, and mapping. So the architecture is, as you can see, all you're writing is the controller and the HTML templates, the things that are in gold. And but that is generated for you. A first cut is generated for you by this app generator. It's very similar to scaffolding that you may have used in your web frameworks. And then that, combined with the components that we provide, an ORM, a device capabilities library, and an optional synchronization client, will build your app. So let's go ahead and do a demo now of how you would go and write this app. We have a hosted service that lets you write the app from a description of the object and their attributes. For example, this is something that's a product catalog, and you have some attributes like the brand, the name, the price, and the quantity. You can see that the development experience is just very generic HTML. And then the way that we make it look native is we use your familiar CSS skills. So we have these CSS libraries for each different device. So CSS for BlackBerry, CSS for iPhone, etc. And what that does is then styles your app to look native. So here's the app running on the iPhone emulator. And I can go ahead and create a new product. I can say, okay, it's an iPhone. The brand is Apple. And the name is an iPhone 3GS. And all this code, the UI and the code to do the actual local editing of data to a database is all generated for us. And then you can edit as you see fit. So that's that running on the iPhone. And here's the same app running on Android. And it's all from one set of source code looking native on each device. Now, let's suppose that I want to make a change, because that's what was generated for us from the attributes. But let's say that I say, okay, well, I don't want the brand to be done as something I edit. I want to be able to just do a drop down. So I can say select the name of the brand, and then I'll say Apple. And I don't have to learn the way that I would do. I don't have to learn the syntax of each of the underlying OSs. I just use my familiar HTML skills, and then I do a save. And then all I do is say that I want to reload the app. It sucks all the code down from the server, generates a local Xcode project with Objective-C to be completely compliant with all terms of service. This is a native Xcode project like any other. And then within here, I can now have this drop-down list that is created as the result of that change. Great. Thank you.
I wanted to make sure you could finish that part.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're still on stage.
Okay, great.
Ellen, you were involved with Elance, a developer marketplace. Mobile's got to be hot. Where do you see something like Roads fitting in?
Yeah, mobile is hot, and it's a very hot, and as a business, a very compelling business case to use something like Rhomobile. So, big fan. I guess a question I would have is, anytime you look for a general solution as opposed to really going native in any particular one area, are you compromising at some level?
It's certainly very important for us to keep up with all of the device capabilities as they emerge, and that's certainly sort of everything that our business is about. So it was very important when iPhone 3.0 came out, we had to have push, which is one of the exciting new capabilities, available that day. When the iPad came out, we had to support it that day. So I think you're absolutely right. That's the key challenge, but we've always tried to aggressively literally have the capability on the day that the developers would be able to use it.
Brian, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so I've been following the Write One support everywhere for years and years, from Mac and PC and Xbox and PlayStation. This has been a constant theme forever. What's the, in a 10-word sentence or less, what's the main reason why this company will be a successful business where all of the other Write One support everywhere companies, especially the ones in the mobile space that I've seen for smartphones, have not taken off?
So I think the predecessor of Write Once, Run Everywhere really is the success of the web, right? That's let people write apps. It really was one syntax, but it ran on all devices. And then the predecessor on things that run like natively on devices, actually for feature phones, J2ME was an outrageous success. And it's actually running on phones from different manufacturers, from devices all around the world. In terms of smartphones really maturing and being ready to have that kind of success that J2ME had, it's really only right now. The specific thing that's really enabling that is the availability of very good browser components on each device. And we feel very fortunate in terms of our timing that as soon as those were available, Roads was there to take advantage of that. And a lot of those difficulties of dealing with different devices are really handled by the browser component.
Okay. Marshall?
So there's clearly a big need for something like this, and it's really exciting to think about all the apps that could get built out of it. I do feel like I'd like to kick the tires on as many of them as possible in order to see if it really feels like a native app in terms of performance. And I wonder what kind of traction it's getting, perhaps what some of if maybe there are apps that have been built on your platform that we know about, or is it a case of this is a platform that people would use to build smaller apps, that an organization doing something else would do this so they can also have an app, but that if you're a big brand or someone making a major mobile play, you just go ahead and put down the money to hire a native developer for a couple of leading platforms.
Yeah, I think if we get a lot of our business from enterprises, and they just can't target one platform, and they can't even really target two. They need to reach their workers in whatever they're carrying. Sort of mandating standards has been tried, and it never worked. So they really need to reach all their workers, and keeping 3 or more implementations of an app after the first version is just not practical. So there's sort of got to be a way to do it. And then in terms of traction, the hosted service that I just showed you was launched in November, and there's over 3,000 developers actively writing apps. That's typically how we find out what people are doing. There's a lot more writing locally without the hosted service because it's sort of a new thing. But prominent examples include Wikipedia. Humana has done an app for their healthcare subscribers that's available on Android Market, iPhone, and about to be released on BlackBerry. And it lets you check your healthcare savings account balance, lets you find the closest emergency services using GPS. And a lot of these are apps that really wouldn't have happened if they didn't feel like they could discriminate to part of their subscriber base if there wasn't some practical way of writing it and having it available for everybody.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We've got just two more companies, Strings and Stupeflix. And now I'd like to welcome out the social recommendation tool, Strings, and their speakers, Edward and Damon.
Good afternoon. My name is Edward Balassanian. I'm the CEO and founder of Strings. I'm here with Damon Ganem, our Director of Marketing. And we're here to tell you about Strings.com. Today, we're faced with choices in nearly every aspect of our lives. Having them is a good thing. But when too many choices compete for your attention, it can certainly be a bad thing. Search brought us closer to what we want, but left us with a sea of blue to click through. The dawn of Web 2.0 and the real-time web have only added to that noise. And with the explosion of people, products, and websites, it's only become harder to discover meaningful content. Are you spending more time looking for what you want rather than enjoying it? On February 23rd of this year, we introduced Strings in the era of social tracking and filtering. Strings is a social tracking and filtering platform that allows users to share and uncover experiences that are relevant to them. Powerful filtering controls allow you to see where content is coming from, as well as how others have interacted with it. Trackers are available for dozens of online destinations, allowing you to automatically capture your activity from your favorite websites. Your tracker settings page shows you a breakdown of your activity from each tracker, as well as your overall consumption stats. Once you connect with other users, you'll be able to see what they're tracking and sharing with you. You'll know when your connections play a song, buy a book, visit a restaurant, or even record a movie on their TiVo DVR. Since real life extends beyond the internet, Strings allows you to stay connected when you're offline and on your mobile device. This allows you to share the places that you visit and the items you purchase all in real time. When we founded Strings, we knew that the power of tracking goes beyond sharing your activity with other users. The real value of tracking is in how it enables you to discover interesting and relevant content tuned to your personality. But to really enable discovery, you first have to eliminate the distraction of noise. We've all seen examples of noise on the internet. Left veggie spending $20 at Safeway. Joel and Diggy's diet and hygiene habits. Or incessant updates about mobsters and farms. So what is discovery? Discovery is that aha moment. It isn't about who you know or what's popular. It's about finding more of what you love. Today we're announcing our app platform and our plan to make tracking the most powerful way to enable discovery and personalization in web apps. We'll be launching our new platform with a series of applications that highlight the extraordinary value that comes when you combine tracking with personalized discovery across virtually every aspect of consumers' daily lives. Our applications will take everyday activities like visiting a city, reading articles, watching videos, picking out a great movie, and listening to radio, and turn them into personalized experiences infused with the aha of discovery. Our tracking and discovery API will be available this summer, allowing developers, merchants, and publishers to easily create targeted experiences that accelerate consumption and increase loyalty. With Strings, instead of sifting through the choices that compete for your attention, you'll be empowered to discover personalized content based on your express personality and the personalities of others like you. Strings realizes the power of people. People have preferences. Preferences empower business. Businesses gain intimacy with people, and people trust their strings. Thank you.
Brian, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so this seems like it could be cool. I can't wait to try it out. Does seem very general, and you talked about a whole lot of stuff in there, and very few things start off as a platform. What's going to be the killer app? What's going to be the killer thing that people do on strings that actually launches it into being something that everybody plays with? Because you can't just use a general answer here.
Well, the initial launch was focused on sharing, and it's very easy to track what you do passively, so you don't have to actively contribute content. And it makes it easy if you're someone who likes to gather content and share. It makes it very easy to do that. But the killer app in our mind is the discovery platform, which our applications enable you to discover content that's tuned to your personality in a way that isn't available on the web today.
Okay. What's the business model, and what are you doing with my data? Who are you selling it to?
Well, we never sell your data. In fact, our entire business model was predicated on privacy coming first. We launched with the premise of your data being private, and the value of the site should be about you as a consumer, not as advertisers targeting you. So the answer to what we do with your data is we help you discover things that are interesting and relevant to you. As far as our business model goes, we accelerate consumption. And a lot of our partners who've helped us build trackers and are launching apps with us love what we do because we drive increased traffic to their sites for products that consumers already have a proclivity for purchasing and consuming.
So I love recommendation services, and it's something that we write about a lot on ReadWriteWeb. My favorite one, if people haven't checked it out before, is Mr. Tweet. You go there, and it will recommend 50 new Twitter users that you should follow almost every day, and the signal-to-noise ratio is just incredible. It's brain candy, and it's a joy, and that's what a recommendation service, when it's really rocking out, can be. But the advantage that Mr. Tweet has is that they are running alongside a platform that people are already using extensively. And I wonder, you know, I've been real interested in strings but haven't started using it because it's only available, to my knowledge, as a Firefox plugin and not a Chrome plugin. But are you faced with the cold start problem as opposed to some of the other recommendation services that are using existing thriving social networks as their fodder?
Well, we have support for Twitter as well. So if you have a Twitter account, you can track the things that you tweet, and you can also tweet what you track on strings out to Twitter. Same thing with Facebook. We do have a Chrome extension. But to use strings, you don't have to download anything. The primary experience is get on the site, pick the online destinations that you want to track, and then everything is automatic from there for you. And the work that we've put into the back end has really been about what you just said, the brain candy part of it, the discovery working, actually figuring out books that you want to read, articles that you're interested in. The best example that I give is when I go to Netflix's homepage, the movies that they show me are ones I've already seen or that I've already heard about. And that's despite the tremendous effort they've made to recommend movies to me. Strings knows what I've watched because I track my Apple TV, my TiVo DVR, my Amazon account, my Fandango account. So all the movies that I consume are already accounted for in the discovery engine recommending new movies to me.
Okay, thank you guys very much. And our final company is going to be talking about online video creation. Please welcome out Stupeflix, Jeff, Boudier.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so What's Pink has 2 thumbs and is glad to be here. It's Stupeflix, and I'm Jeff Boudier. All right. When it comes to telling a story or advertising a product, video is the best medium out there. Now, the problem is that it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of money to create. This is the problem Stupeflix is solving, both for small and for large advertisers. Stupeflix is a web service to simplify video creation. Today, I want to tell you 2 stories. I want to show you 2 products. The first product I want to show you is the Stupeflix Studio. Imagine I'm a small business owner. I have a website. I want to promote my business with a video. I only have 10 minutes. Here comes the Stupeflix Studio. I take a few preset sequences. They're ready to use. All I need to do is enter my information. Yeah, there it is. 10 minutes and $10 later, the video is on my website, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Let's take a look at it. Now, to create this awesome map sequence, all I had to do was to enter an address. The video is interactive. If people click on the coupon, they'll be taken to a landing page. That was the Stupeflix Studio, a web service to simplify video creation for people and small advertisers. Now I want to show you another product we are very excited about. This product is for websites with lots of data and images. A directory like Yelp, or a real estate website like Zillow, or an e-commerce website like Zappos. Imagine I'm Zappos. I have 100,000 products, sorry, not yet. I know that if I put a video on a product page, the conversion rate will increase 15%. So I need 100,000 product videos. I want my videos to be always up to date in case the price changes. I want the videos to be interactive so people can like the product on Facebook. And I want people to be able to see the videos on their iPhone or on their iPad. I only have one day to implement the whole thing. So once again, it's automated video at a very high scale, always up-to-date, interactive videos that I can see on my iPhone, my iPad, very easy to implement. So here comes Stupeflix Play. You can take the product pictures, the user reviews, the price, special offers, mix everything into a high-quality template. The videos will be created instantly, on demand. They will update automatically. The video is interactive. My whole catalog is in video. I can see them on my iPhone and my iPad. So this was Stupeflix Play, a web service that simplifies video creation for large advertisers. Now, to understand how the Play platform works and how the Stupeflix Studio works, we need to dive a little deeper into the technology. Stupeflix combines 3 layers of innovation to simplify video creation. The first layer is the XML video description language. Basically, it makes video programmable. Anything you could do with a professional video editing software, you can do programmatically with a Stupeflix XML. The second layer of innovation is the rendering API. We developed a GPU-based hardware architecture to render videos orders of magnitude faster than current solutions. It can create millions of videos a day, and it's 20 times faster than the best-in-class solutions, like maybe Lamothe, maybe you know them. The third layer of innovation is After Effects integration. You can export an After Effects project into the Stupeflix XML, so it can be used as a template for all your videos. There are thousands of talented people out there who know how to use it. That's the kind of software you make Spider-Man with. So very high-quality video. So once again, XML video description language, videos programmable, rendering API. It's fast, high scale, After Effects, high quality. Everything, these 3 layers of innovation are all available to developers so you can take our disruptive technology and build disruptive applications. Thank you very much.
Nice timing.
Thank you.
So, Ellen, I was thinking this might be handy for Elance developers trying to market themselves.
Yeah, I was thinking similarly. For marking it down to that channel. It's interesting. It seems like a really great product and a great service. I guess I'm curious a little bit about your business model, how you make money, because if it's free to the consumer at the consumer side, but you're charging for the API kind of experience for the enterprise. How big is that market, and how much are you charging, and how are you going to scale this?
It's very simple. It's pay-per-use. So very much like Amazon Web Services, you pay for the videos you create. We have web applications, such as the Studio for consumers. They pay for the videos that they are great for, higher resolution, white label videos. And for massive video creation, it's exactly the same model. You pay for the videos you create. In terms of market, the consumer market is anybody who wants to advertise their products by creating videos one by one. So if you look at well, it's not there. If you look at our customer list, there are people like Turn Here, video production company. There are directories that want to add video as an advertising tool. The other piece of the puzzle is the large advertisers, so e-commerce, directories, and travel websites, and classifieds. We have lots of customers, both in Europe and the US, who works in classifieds. And so here, again, it's about creating lots of content for them.
Yeah, sure. So the main, as far as I understand it, the main advantages of something like Lamothe is the pure scale that this can run at versus something like that. So given that, it's definitely targeted towards the people with huge amounts of inventory. To that end, so you're saying to use for classifieds, have you made, I mean, you guys have been around for a little while, have you made traction with the big classified sites or people that have a huge amount of just inventory that they need to make into videos? Have you gotten people using the scale that your application allows yet?
Yeah, actually, in our customer roster, if you can put it on the slides over there, 2 of them, HomeFinder and MyNewPlace.com, are in the top 10 real estate US websites. Paris Vendu is the second largest classifieds property in France, both real estate and automotive. And other customers like Previsit, for instance, they're one of our historical customers. They generate 100,000 videos a month. So we've been able to test really like high-scale applications, and that's something very specific to us, like you mentioned. Another thing that's very specific to us is because our technology is so open and so flexible, people can really program video exactly the way they want the videos to look, the way they want videos to be created. So it's, yeah, our customers love it. Marshall?
Well, these are just my stupid thoughts as a stupid judge, but why you got to be like that? You know, I think this looks like an incredible technology, but honestly, the branding bums me out. You know, at a time when hundreds of millions of beautiful snowflakes in human beings are being turned into drooling, crop-watering zombies, celebrating that culture of idiots and stupid really seems sad to me. I mean, blogging, for example, is an incredibly accessible technology that changed the world, and if it had been called stupid publishing, you know, that would be a real bummer. That aside, and part of the reason why it's upsetting is because the technology seems fantastic, and I hope that you can bring it to the world in a groovy kind of way, if you will.
Well, thank you. I mean, I will take it as a compliment, and I will quote a very great man saying that it's the technology, stupid, right? So we try not to take ourselves too seriously, but actually, the story about Stupeflix is
actually
it's a Harry Potter spell. Stupefy, it's stupefying. Stupeflix. Keep that with you. The good thing, people remember our name. I guess that's a good thing. Silver lining. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for the startups, but I'm going to ask that you all hang out here, and we're just going to do People's Choice Applause-o-meter. I'm going to call out each company and just clap the loudest for the ones that, you know, as much as you like them. I'd request that if you happen to be, say, 6 members of the EnglEasy team, that you not try to throw the vote in one way or another, but clap at a normal volume. So first out, I'd like to welcome out our first company, Ask Your Target Markets, Lev Mazin and Mike Courtney. So clap as... That's pretty good. And sustained. All right, and next up, the weekend startups EnglEasy. Pretty good, pretty good. pearltrees with social curation. Say right now it's neck and neck for Ask Your Target Market and pearltrees. Rhomobile with their newly open source platform Roads. Ooh. Although I feel like that was some pretty good competition in there, and they might have nosed the other two out. Strings. Almost, but not quite. And finally, Marshall's favorite name, Stupeflix. All right, judges, what do you think? I felt like let's pick out two that we've probably at the top and kind of do a showdown. I think Rhomobile was pretty clearly at the top, and
Ask Your Target Market sounded to me pretty high, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Them are pearltrees.
So
you're a tiebreaker.
Ask Your Target Market.
Okay, so Rhomobile and Ask Your Target Market, if you could just come out here, and we're going to do an applause off. Yeah. All right, so Ask Your Target Market.
Thank you.
And Rhomobile. Thoughts?
Sounded like Rhomobile to me.
Yeah, I think it was Rhomobile. Long live mobile. All right, thank you very much. And I'd just like to thank our judges, Marshall, Ellen, and Brian, for coming out for this. And I'd like to thank the 6 companies. And we had many, many submissions for this. So really, just to be here was them being selected by myself and the judges. So they're all kind of the cream of the crop. And this is just one final metric. So thank you all for being here. I wish you the best of luck. And thanks to the 3 of you.